Yeah. All right, we are live.
We, both of us.
We, both of us,
Hi.
and 100% of both of our faces are live here on the Angie Lost Her House live stream part 2.
Part 2.
Give me one brief moment while I scramble over to YouTube, find this so that I can tweet it out.
No, I've already.
Junk Shop is in charge of the technology right now, which means we are all gonna die.
No, we're not, because you are not. Oh my god.
Windows 7.
Windows 7.
Or Vista,
I fucking
whichever it was.
Vista. It was Vista, and
Vista.
I fucking hate the way my face looked just then. We need a book.
Did you say we need a book?
Yeah, under the thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
All
I know
right.
I should care more about our friend than my own vanity, but this is fucked up.
It is out on Twitter.
Yay, thank you.
Heaven only knows what that looked like just now.
I have no idea. I don't care.
But there's probably not anybody watching yet, so
It might be soon. Oh my gosh.
hopefully there will be soon.
Well, it's already out. Okay, so.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, literally. All right. So there are some questions in Angie Dell's Mellow Mates that I think we should answer first.
Definitely.
And I've got that pulled up on my phone.
Okay.
If you want to go back to the.
Yeah. Give me
Stream.
1 second. I'm
Sure.
making sure I've got everything. Comments. Hello, Doc Fearsome. Good to see you again, my friend.
Hi, Doc.
Welcome.
You are amazing.
All right. So we've got questions coming in, and we will do
Yeah.
our best to answer them as they occur.
Now, I want to make it very clear that we don't live in Angie's state. We know what we've heard from her and from Nadine. It is getting late where they are, and they have found the one thing I can tell you is they're all safe. Everybody's safe and has a safe place to stay for the night.
Hey,
So-
Purple, welcome.
Hey, Purple. Oh, thank you so much, honey. Okay, so I just wanted to, I saw a couple of really scary, like, people were like, what? You know, kind of thing. So, to Nervardia, my darling, darling friend Mero, I love you so much over in Australia, and to Jen's little corner and Nacha, everybody else in Australia. You know who you are. You're amazing. Chris, atheist pastor, and oh, your fantastic wife. Like all of you people, you know who you are. But I want to let you know, yeah, we don't know for sure if it was a tornado or a microburst. So we don't know yet, but we do know that it's not just Angie's house. Literally, she sent a message saying the power just went out, and 6 minutes later, we had pictures of her house completely destroyed. Her living room was in the front yard. The roof was completely off the house. And yet, everyone managed to be in a hallway and everyone was all right. So we're going to link the PayPal in the chat. And we're also going to show you some photographs.
This
Yes.
is what the living room looks like
This
right
used
now.
to be the living room. Yeah, you can see the couch. You can see the fish tank. The fish is okay. And the cat was found. And the dogs are okay. So every human and every pet is all right for right now, which is, for lack of a better word, y'all, fucking miraculous at this point. I can't imagine that. So, yeah. So, yeah. So to answer Mero's question, holy shit, what happened? Tornado? Quite probably, but it happened very fast.
Yeah.
We honestly don't know for sure, but that's what it looks like. Someone else asked, I'm sorry, Kat, High Priestess of Honesty and Truth, love your name, asked, I just seen this. Angie, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you and the family are safe. We love y'all. If we can help, let me know. You can help, if you can, by sharing this stream out, and by liking it and sharing it. If you can help financially, we do have a PayPal. At this point, we've raised over $1,000.
$1,350 at last count.
Hell fucking yeah! And I want to...
The link to Angie's PayPal is in the description of the video below. It's also in this crawler that's going across the screen right here.
Here, there you go. And I got to tell you, like,
And
I
we're
did a
literally
thing.
in a situation where every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps because there are 6 people in this household. 2 of them are small children, so we want to help them. But I guess I did a thing. I said if we get to 500, I'll undercut my hair and junk shop. Oh man, you can't see this at all.
Yeah, you can. Give me one
Okay,
sec.
I'll take. Yeah, you do it. So junk shop, he did. He shaved. We did an undercut, and he shaved it, and that's what's going on now. And even more so, Mr. Shadow Kitty. And if you don't follow Mr. Shadow Kitty, you should. What is wrong with you? Mr. Shadow Kitty said, all right, if we get $600, I'll shave my entire head.
Mr. Bear!
Mr. Bear,
Hey, Mr. Bear.
hey, another
Yes.
Aussie friend.
Thank you for sharing, and
Thank
anything you
you.
can give will be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bear. Thank you so much. We know times are hard right now, y'all. We know that. They're hard for us. I'm on furlough right now. Everything is hard. We get it. We're just trying to make sure that these folks can eat and have a roof over their head while all of this is happening. Because, my gosh, can you imagine losing your whole home on top of everything else that's going on?
Else, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Bear.
Love that last video you did, Mr. Bear.
Oh,
the
so good.
The crazy, cringy street preacher world traveler. That was hysterical.
Yes,
thank you so much for that.
That was awesome. Yes.
All right, so
I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah. Okay.
Just make sure we didn't miss any
Make sure I didn't miss any questions. So the cat was found.
Yes.
And I will say, shout out to Neil the 604 Atheist and Mama Atheist Amanda. Amanda, thank you both so much. Toasting them right now because Neil was in a live after party.
Hey, Brainbug. Hello.
Hey, Brainbug. Love you in the hive. Neil was in a live after party, and Jen from Jen's Little Corner, you know, another Aussie person that we adore in the community. And she sent a link and said, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, because I just typed something like quickly, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." Our friend Angie Dell 66, who's in the community, just lost her house. I got a split. I'll let y'all know. And she sent a DM to Angie's channel and I'm sorry, Angie's Twitter, and was like, "Hey, Neil said drop a link in the chat." So we were doing a live stream through Faye, Wonder Lady Faye, through her channel. We did that for about 3.5 hours. We raised $1,300. Holla! And now we are taking it further on Junk Shop stream. And we are going to do this because neither of us have fuck all to do tomorrow. I'm furloughed from my job. He's off work. Like, as far as we're concerned, looking after this community is our job right now. So if you can donate, please donate to Angie's PayPal. And if you cannot, please, that's cool. That's fine. I understand. Times are hard. Please share and this stream because it's our newest one now. Okay, so does that bring everybody up to speed? Anyone else have questions? I'm more than happy to answer questions.
We can answer questions. We
Yes.
we are. Let me see if my second screen is charged up for me here.
We do have.
You know my spare no expense setup.
I do. We do have one more. Well, they do.
Yeah,
we do have
know.
one more challenge, and it's that if we can get them to $2,000, and y'all, we're not asking you to bleed yourselves dry or hurt yourselves for this, but the thing is, they literally just lost everything. And if you don't know,
not just the house, but everything in
the
house,
in it,
except for apparently the fish.
Except for the African cichlid, which lived. The aquarium is fine. They don't have electricity, so they can't plug in the filter, but African cichlids are tough, so the fish may very well be all right. This is fucking amazing. That they didn't know where the cat was for a while, then the cat came back, just like the song. And they have all their pets. Everybody has a safe place to sleep tonight. We're going to leave Angie alone for, you know, the rest of tonight, but Junk Shop and I are going to be here until somebody takes the baton from us. And honestly, like I've said, you know, we don't have to get up in the morning. We don't have anything going on, so you know, we're just gonna do this. We're both a few cocktails in, but I can always put on coffee. We're just gonna do this, or not. You can see us get really. You can see us get shitty if you want. That'll be fun. I'm drinking bourbon and ginger. Yes, and you've got.
A very strong margarita.
That's what I meant. All right. So basically, we got.
Exactly, Doc. Just glad
Yes.
Angie and the family is okay.
Oh gosh, me
that's
too.
the main thing. Everybody is out safe and apparently
Yes.
unscathed or
Yeah,
insufficiently scathed to notice it at any rate.
yeah, because if you don't know, Angie and her husband, who is also known as Doc, not to be confused with Doc Fearsome, but he's a dentist. They are raising two of their granddaughters. And they have an adult daughter who is lovely. She's amazing. And she's recently moved back in to kind of help out and things like that. So this is a family of 5. And this has happened to them. Their house was completely destroyed. So the other thing I want to bring up is that, you know what Angie's husband was doing while his house and his truck were destroyed by a tree, and this, whether it was tornadoes or a microburst storm, whatever it was that happened in less than 6 minutes and did all of this damage, he went to his neighbors. He went to his neighbors because even though he is a dentist, that means he has more first aid and medical knowledge than the average person. And he went with his first aid kit and went around the neighborhood making sure everyone was okay because there was so much debris. Paramedics and 911 officials were not going to be able to get there for a long time.
Apparently, it took them half an hour to get the gas shut off.
Yes, in the neighborhood. And thank goodness there were no explosions. So, y'all, it's serious, but also I just want to point out that these are good people. These are our people. They're good people in our community who are just trying to help out other humans, even when they've lost everything themselves. His first thought was to go off and try to help his neighbors. That is fucking amazing. So let's help them out while we can, and as much as we can. And again, I understand times are hard. Believe me, I'm furloughed for the next 5 months, or I'm sorry, 3 months. Sorry. And it's a very scary time, and I get that. But like, if you can just give a few dollars, that's great. If you can, that's amazing. And if there's any hijinks you want to get into, if you want to say, hey, if we get up to $2,000, I will do this. Let me know. Let us know. Let Junk Shop and I know, because we did a whole thing where I said if we get up to $500, I'll do an undercut and let Junk Shop shave the back of my head, and he did, and it was awesome. And even before we got to 500, oh my gosh, who was it? Ooh, guy who shaved his head.
Shadow Kitty.
Shadow Kitty. Mr. Shadow Kitty came on and said, if we get to $600, I'll shave my whole head. And he did, on camera, on Wonder Lady Faye's live stream. So if you want to see that, that's some awesomeness. Check it out. But for right now, we're still going live, and we're trying to raise more money for our community, for our friends who have lost everything.
Just so y'all know what Angie's bedroom looks like, because that's where she used to shoot Ask Granny from.
Yeah.
You know, that headboard with the little dolls and stuff on it, and she'd have the little shawl on and the granny glasses.
Yeah.
That's that headboard.
That's how it looks now.
Right there.
And
there ain't no roof no more.
No.
I should be in the tab that's actually being shared.
Yeah. Fair. And
that's the headboard. You can see the Spock bear lying right there, and the roof.
That hurts.
The roof is gone. And it's every house in the neighborhood looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if I can. Oh no, the video's on her Twitter. I'd have to go on an expedition to find that. But
Yeah,
still,
no, we'll get what we can in terms of footage, but we do have actual evidence that this happened,
if you go
and
to
it happened
Angie's
really fast.
Twitter page, she's got like a 45-second video of her just panning around the neighborhood, and you can see where houses obviously used to be, and there's just piles of rubble.
And frankly, and I don't blame her one bit, because I would not have been able to do even that much. She did that while in shock. I mean, she's speaking. She was texting certain things and then saying, "Oh, wait, this isn't here anymore, and this isn't here anymore," and oh gosh, you guys, I'm not expressing this well, and I apologize, because I'm trying to imagine. I really am. I'm trying to imagine. It does what it would be like, to just lose everything in under 6 fucking minutes. It's really hard.
Like literally, the power went out, and 6 minutes later, the house was gone.
Yeah, and the only good thing is that she and her husband and her daughter and the granddaughters were able to get into a hallway that was apparently a load-bearing hallway, and they are fine. And again, the pets are fine. For those of you, I know we got a lot of animal lovers in the community, and we're animal lovers as well. Even the aquarium is fine, and that was one of the first things that we saw, that we noticed when we were looking at the pictures, and we saw the aquarium on the lawn. We were like, oh, like, I know I should care. I do care more about the people than the fish, but
are the people okay?
Is the fish okay?
Is Herbert all right?
Exactly.
Good.
Yes, and it turns out Herbert, the African cichlid, we're fairly certain that's his name.
It's something like Herbert.
It's either Herbert or Herman. We're honestly not sure. But the point is, the African cichlids are tough, and he's okay for right now, except that he doesn't have a filter. But that can be okay. They're tough fish. And I'm not an expert, by the way. I just overhear stuff that this one listens to when he's, because we're fish people. But anyway, all right. So if there's anything you guys want to do, or want us to do to raise money, I said that if we hit $2,000 during this stream tonight on Angie's PayPal, Junk Shop and I will do scary. I'm sorry, I'm hiccuping. Can you say what I said we do?
Apparently, we're going to do scary Halloween makeup
on each other. It'll be amazing.
It'll be amazing by one definition or another.
Oh yeah, it will. We know what we're doing. No, we were both theater kids, and we're way into Halloween, and most of our makeup comes from Halloween things. So yeah, so we will do badass Halloween makeup on each other and show you guys how to do that if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not, let us know in the chat. Let us know what you want to see us do, because there's not a lot other than dancing, because I'm super white, y'all. But other than dancing that I would not do, I can show you the 5 first positions in ballet. That is about it. But beyond that, if there's anything you guys want to do.
We are at a bit of a disadvantage here in this stream, because Angie's asleep.
She is.
And obviously we don't have access to her PayPal, so we don't know what the running total is. No. We're just keeping the flame alive into the night, and making sure to spread the word. Those of you who follow either of us on Twitter are going to get real tired of hearing about this, because we're going to be tweeting out this stream irregularly but frequently.
Yeah, we will.
Over the course of the night. And yeah, Doc says this is so shocking. It sounds like they're lucky to have made it through.
Oh, they are.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They just happened to be in the hallway. I mean, thank God they weren't in the living room, and honestly, that tree took it out.
Yeah,
imagine if anybody had been sitting on that couch. It doesn't bear thinking about.
No, and those precious little girls, those sweet little girls. I can't even imagine. I cannot. No, I can't, and I also refuse to imagine what could have happened. And apparently, I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just guessing, guys. I'm making an educated guess as someone who grew up in an area with lots of bad storms and tornadoes seasonally. I'm guessing that the power went out, maybe or maybe not, sirens went off, and they ran to a hallway because that was safe. That's my guess, but I honestly do not know if that's true or not. So please don't take that as what absolutely happened. But right now, Angie is exhausted. She's not online. I don't even know if she has her computer. She has her phone. That's all I know for sure that she has. So
yeah, we know she's got her phone because she shot video and uploaded it to Twitter.
Yeah.
And was still on it for a couple of hours at least.
Yeah, a couple of hours. Yeah.
Because a couple of, at least one incarnation of Faye's stream that I tweeted out, she interacted with. She liked it.
Yeah.
When it was the one where I said, one head partially shaved, one head fully shaved.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so
Faye says the computer was crushed.
Oh,
damn.
Fuck. Thank you, Faye, for telling us. Damn it.
And Purple says, yeah, Angie ran a couple of hours of stream and did a song for his moving fundraiser and helped out a bunch of people that way. She's always there for all of us.
And yes, Purple, thank you for saying that, man. Like, yeah, that's the thing. She has been there. She's been there for all of us. She was there for Purple Rhymes with Orange. She was there for so many of us in various ways. I'm sorry, I'm on cocktail number 5, so I can't remember everything she's done, but she is so much,
for
and
the
she is
community and for so many members of the community.
Yeah.
And no,
what?
Faye says all her DJ equipment was crushed. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Okay, well we gotta raise more money.
Yeah, we do.
Angie Dell.
Woo! Angie Dell.
Angie Dell in the chat.
What up, girl?
Says she is here and we are we're pulling this shit up on the screen.
Yeah,
you better
we
believe
are.
it.
Yeah,
I
we
am
are.
here. We are safe and sound for the night.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
Granny, that's the best news I've had all day.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you
is.
so much for letting us know.
And darling, we're working for you. We are working for you right now. I hope you can hear this. We love you, and we got your back. We got it. We're not gonna let you go through this by yourself, and neither is the rest of the community. Right?
The community is here.
Oh,
hey, Mistress Angelica, welcome.
Hey, Mistress Angelica,
hey.
Thank you for coming.
Hey, Philip, welcome. The
All right.
Night Owls are in the chat.
The Night Owls have come. Yes.
I knew the Night Owls would find this one.
Y'all, look at this. Look at this. Honey, you don't have to be, I mean, I get it. I'd be speechless too, but you just lost your whole damn house. It's okay. We got you. Don't worry about it. This is how grateful this lady is and how much grace she has. Okay. Wow. And I do not mean like God-given fucking grace. I mean, she is a lady.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I know my accent is getting thicker as I talk about this, but it doesn't matter. It's a thing. Okay, so yeah, so Purple. Oh yeah, hello.
Purple's
He's saying
everybody.
yes. Angie is letting us know that yes, all pets are accounted for. Yes, thank you, Angie. She knows some of us were worried, particularly about the cat. I reckoned it probably got scared, ran off, and hid while things were bad, and then came home. But I'm really glad it came home. I'm sorry, she came home. Yeah. And yes, we do love Angie. Thank you, Faye. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. She's one of the mums. I hate to classify her in that way, but because I don't want to box her in, but she's one of the moms in our community. You know, she's the lady we go to for advice and for like, hey, you know, You've walked the planet just a little bit longer than I have. What do you know that I don't know? You know, yep. I know that's been the case for me.
It was scary. She says, well, shit, I imagine. I mean, I can't imagine, but I would certainly think so. I mean, yeah. Good Lord in heaven. We asked Granny. Purple says yes.
We asked Granny.
Yes, we
yes,
do.
yes, we do. We
We
ask
do
Granny. Yes,
indeed.
we do. Because she knows shit. Oh God, and we just, Angie, we love you so much, and we're working we're working to make
We're
sure you're all
doing what
right.
we can. We
Yeah,
want you to be safe, and
we
we
do.
want you to be
We do.
taken care of,
And
eating and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
You know.
eating and having a roof over your head are good things. Okay. All right. So, you guys, like, seriously, tonight, one time only, we're your dancing fucking monkeys. Like, tell us what you want to do within reason. I'm not going to do anything naughty or that could get our YouTube channel banned, but you tell us, what you want us to do for you to donate, we will fucking do it. And honestly, I understand that it's hard.
You donate, we dance, y'all.
Yeah, I understand it's hard
Maybe
times.
not literally dance, but you get this. You get
I
the
might.
sense.
I don't know. I could. Well,
Staying in a camper at the office. Okay. Okay.
Good. Thank you, Angie. Thank you for letting us know that you're in a safe place with running water. And
oh no,
toilet.
Morton's new to the game. He says, "Oh no, what the heckins happened? I just rolled out of bed." Well, here's the thing.
Sum it up.
Here's the thing, Morton. What happened while you were snuggled all safe in your bed is that Angie lost her house. It got hit by some kind of freak weather phenomenon and dis-a-fucking-peared into thin fucking air.
Yep.
A tree took off the roof and the walls came down and the outside came inside and the inside went outside and there ain't no house no more.
Yep, and that is true for her whole street.
And the entire, her whole street, the entire neighborhood suffered the same fate. And so we're doing a long running late night fundraiser to try to scare up some cash for Granny to get food on the table, roof overhead, and such and stuff.
Can you drop that PayPal link again?
Yes.
Okay. So Junk Shop's gonna drop.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the PayPal link in the chat again. It is also in the description below, and the short version of it is scrolling on the screen right now.
Angie's PayPal description or PayPal account. Fuck. I'm sorry. Hey,
Angie says she's so glad to see Junk Shop still has his hair. Well, the night is young. We don't.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. It's your head. You do what you want.
No, Shadow Kitty's the one who went full Heisenberg tonight.
Yeah, Shadow Kitty, man, he gave it up. And then he made the hair into a heart, which is a little gross, but also really cute. So check that out on Faith's channel. Yeah, I kind of want to, like, you can't, do you know how to French braid?
Just braid?
No, French braid.
No, I don't have the dexterity.
Man. Okay, no, I can't either, so don't feel weird. But if I knew how to French braid,
that would look awesome.
Yeah,
French
right?
braid coming down over
Thank
that
you.
undercut.
Yeah, Junk Shop did an undercut of mine because I said if we reach $500, he cut off about 6 inches underneath, and then and we held that up in front of the camera, and then he buzzed like the back. So I've got a full undercut now. I'm gonna show it off for you folks who weren't here earlier. And that is not a guilt trip. I come from Catholic culture. That was not a guilt trip. I realize you just, now know this is happening.
Do you want me to pull the camera over like we did a minute ago?
No, it's cool. I need a hair tie. I don't know where they went.
There's one over on the hand.
I got it. Explain to them what the hand is.
Oh, sorry, the hand. The hand is exactly what it sounds like. It's a skeleton hand Halloween prop where we keep all of our rings that we're not wearing at the time and sometimes hair ties. And it sits on top of the Victrola.
Yes. Because we are people of varying tastes and different things. And I gotta say, I wanted this to be a sacrifice to an extent, like, hey, my friend is going through this hard time. I want to give, I'll give some of my hair, if that's the thing. But the thing is, this feels amazing, and I may never stop doing it now. But, so this is what happened. Like, you guys know how much hair I have. And all of this was buzzed off. And if you want to see that in real time, check out Faye's stream because she started first. So check that out. Wonder Lady Faye.
Hey, Robert X just woke up.
Oh, Robert
yeah,
X!
We got,
yeah,
we
man.
got the night owls on the other side of the pond, both
Yeah, we
rolling
do.
up in here.
Hells yeah.
This is our time.
This is our
baby.
time. And this is our plan because I'm furloughed from my job. He's not working right now except for actually YouTube is your job, so that's fair. You are working right now, but still, like, oh fuck, did that sound? Okay, not gonna worry about it. Anyway, point is that like right now we're focused on Angie and her family and looking after them because they just lost their entire house. So that's what we're doing. This is a mildly tipsy stream.
This is the mildly tipsy
Yeah.
fundraiser stream.
It is.
We are
Yes.
still raising funds. We are doing it in a slightly more inebriated and less organized way than Faye brought together earlier. But
Yes.
we are still doing it.
We are.
The next thing we will be doing is I'm going to read my favorite H.P. Lovecraft story.
Ooh.
Which is a short one entitled The Music of Eric Zahn.
I was about to say a short H.P. Lovecraft
which
story.
I have,
the hell you say.
Which I have tremendous affection for and always have. I would immensely appreciate it if everyone watching could go and donate $1, $3, $5, $6.66.
Yes, please.
$1,000. Whatever you happen to have lying around that you can afford. And then after I have concluded, I'm not going to watch the chat while I'm reading. But whilst I'm reading, I want to see the chat moving slightly in my peripheral vision, and I would ask each of you to go donate $1 at least. And then tell me how much you have donated at the end, and then we'll figure something out, because that's as far ahead as I thought on that one.
Well, like I said, you know, if we get to $2,000, you know, we're gonna do we're gonna do scary Halloween makeup on each other, and we will teach you how to do it. Junk Shop and I are both theater kids, so we can teach you how to do some of the cool shit. It's not your regular makeup stuff, which is why I had to have Faye the Most Gracious oh, thank you, Purple. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Purple sent $50 just before we started here. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Love
Purple.
you, darling.
You are amazing.
Yeah, you are. Thank you. Purple just moved.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that's amazing. Thank you. So we will thank you if we see, you know, anything in the chat, and also if you want to shill anything, if you want to drop like your YouTube channel, if you want to share your Twitter, your Facebook, what the fuck ever, you do it. Like, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely, feel free. I know I've just got a couple of mods in the chat right now, but if you are not a mod and so can't drop links, by all means, just
let us know.
Buttonhole one of them and have them drop the link.
Or, better yet, let them know.
Or we'll work something out. He is.
Okay.
Angie says we're up to 1,600.
Woo!
Oh, Lord!
All right.
Wow.
$400 more, and you get scary Halloween makeup. Hells yeah!
Last I heard, we were at $1,350.
Yes.
So it's been rolling in just the last couple of hours.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you everybody so
much.
And
especially now, because we know it's a hard time. We get that. It's hard.
It is. Money is tight right now. So if you can't, we know it's hard. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Yeah. If you can't give money, we understand. Angie understands. You know, if you can't give money, please just share so that we can get the word out. and it's okay. But if you can throw a few bucks her way, that would be amazing. Okay. All right. Junk stop. Sorry. Fifth bourbon and ginger, or sixth. I might be wrong. Anyway, is going to read an H.P. Lovecraft story, and I love these.
The Music of Eric Zahn.
Mm.
I have examined maps of the city with the greatest care, yet have never again found the Rue d'Orsay. These maps have not been modern maps alone, for I know that names change. I have, on the contrary, delved deeply into all the antiquities of the place, and have personally explored every region, of whatever name, which could possibly answer to the street I knew as the Rue d'Orsay. But despite all I have done, it remains an humiliating fact that I cannot find the house, the street, or even the locality where, during the last months of my impoverished life as a student of metaphysics at the university, I heard the music of Eric Zahn. That my memory is broken, I do not wonder, for my health, physical and mental, was gravely disturbed during the period of my residence in the Rue d'Orsay, and I recall that I took none of my few acquaintances there. But that I cannot find the place again is both singular and perplexing, for it was within a half-hour's walk of the university, and was distinguished by peculiarities which could hardly be forgotten by anyone who had been there. I have never met a person who had seen the Rue d'Orsay. The Rue d'Orsay lay across a dark river, bordered by precipitous brick, blear-windowed warehouses, and spanned by a ponderous bridge of dark stone. It was always shadowy along that river, as if the smoke of neighboring factories shut out the sun perpetually. The river was also odorous with evil stenches which I have never smelled elsewhere, and which may someday help me to find it, since I should recognize them at once. Beyond the bridge were narrow cobbled streets with rails, and then came the ascent, at first gradual, but incredibly steep as the Rue d'Orsay was reached. I have never seen another street as narrow and steep as the Rue d'Orsay. It was almost a cliff, closed to all vehicles, consisting in several places of flights of steps, and ending at the top in a lofty ivied wall. Its paving was irregular, sometimes stone slabs, sometimes cobblestones, and sometimes bare earth with struggling greenish-gray vegetation. The houses were tall, peaked-roofed, incredibly old, and crazily leaning backward, forward, and sideways. Occasionally, an opposite pair, both leaning forward, almost met across the street like an arch, and certainly they kept most of the light from the ground below. There were a few overhead bridges from house to house across the street. The inhabitants of that street impressed me peculiarly. At first, I thought it was because they were all silent and reticent, but later decided it was because they were all very old. I do not know how I came to live on such a street, but I was not myself when I moved there. I had been living in many poor places, always evicted for want of money, until at last I came upon that tottering house in the Rue d'Orsay, kept by the paralytic Blandot. It was the third house from the top of the street, and by far the tallest of them all. My room was on the 5th story, the only inhabited room there, since the house was almost empty. On the night I arrived, I heard strange music from the peaked garret overhead, and the next day asked old Blandot about it. He told me it was an old German viol player, a strange, dumb man who signed his name as Eric Zahn, and who played evenings in a cheap theater orchestra, adding that Zahn's desire to play in the night after his return from the theater was the reason he had chosen this lofty and isolated garret room, whose single gable window was the only point on the street from which one could look over the terminating wall at the declivity and panorama beyond. You okay, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble typing. I apologize. Keep talking.
Thereafter, I heard Zahn every night, and although he kept me awake, I was haunted by the weirdness of his music. Knowing little of the art myself, I was yet certain that none of his harmonies had any relation to music I had heard before, and concluded that he was a composer of a highly original genius. The longer I listened, the more I was fascinated, until after a week I resolved to make the old man's acquaintance. One night, as he was returning from his work, I intercepted Zahn in the hallway and told him that I would like to know him and be with him when he played. He was a small, lean, bent person with shabby clothes, blue eyes, grotesque, satyr-like face, and nearly bald head, and at my first words seemed both angered and frightened. My obvious friendliness, however, finally melted him, and he grudgingly motioned to me to follow him up the dark, creaking, and rickety attic stairs. His room, one of only two in the steeply pitched garret, was on the west side, toward the high wall that formed the upper end of the street. Its size was very great, and seemed the greater because of its extraordinary bareness and neglect. Of furniture there was only a narrow iron bedstead, a dingy washstand, a small table, a large bookcase, an iron music rack, and 3 old-fashioned chairs. Sheets of music were piled in disorder about the floor. The walls were of bare boards and had probably never known plaster, whilst the abundance of dust and cobwebs made the place seem more deserted than inhabited. Evidently, Eric Zahn's world of beauty lay in some far cosmos of the imagination. Motioning me to sit down, the dumb man closed the door, turned the large wooden bolt, and lighted a candle to augment the one he had brought with him. He now removed his viol from its moth-eaten covering, and, taking it, seated himself in the least uncomfortable of the chairs. He did not employ the music rack, but, offering no choice and playing from memory, enchanted me for over an hour with strains I had never heard before, strains that must have been of his own devising. To describe their exact nature is impossible for one unversed in music. They were a kind of fugue, with recurrent passages of the most captivating quality, but to me were noticeable for the absence of any of the weird notes I had overheard from my room below on other occasions. Those haunting notes I had remembered, and had often hummed and whistled inaccurately to myself, so when the player at length laid down his bow, I asked him if he would remember some of them. As I began my request, the wrinkled satyr-like face lost the bored placidity it had assumed during the playing, and seemed to shew the same curious mixture of anger and fright which I had noticed when first I accosted the old man. For a moment I was inclined to use persuasion, regarding rather lightly the whims of senility, and even tried to awaken my host's weirder mood by whistling a few of the strains to which I had listened the night before. But I did not pursue this course for more than a moment, for when the dumb musician recognized the whistled air, his face grew suddenly distorted with an expression wholly beyond analysis, and his long, cold, bony right hand reached out to stop my mouth and silence the crude imitation. As he did this, he further demonstrated his eccentricity by casting a startled glance toward the lone curtained window, as if fearful of some intruder. A glance doubly absurd, since the garret stood high and inaccessible above all the adjacent roofs, this window being the only point on the steep street, as the concierge had told me, from which one could see over the wall at the summit. The old man's glance brought Blando's remark to my mind, and with a certain capriciousness I felt a wish to look out over the wide and dizzying panorama of moonlit roofs and city lights beyond the hilltop, which of all the dwellers in the Rue d'Auxil only this crabbed musician could see. I moved toward the window and would have drawn aside the nondescript curtains, when, with a frightened rage even greater than before, the dumb lodger was upon me again, this time motioning with his head toward the door as he nervously strove to drag me thither with both hands. Now thoroughly disgusted with my host, I ordered him to release me and told him I would go at once. His clutch relaxed, and as he saw my disgust and offense, his own anger seemed to subside. He tightened his relaxing grip, but this time in a friendly manner, forcing me into a chair, then with an appearance of wistfulness crossing to the littered table, where he wrote many words with a pencil in the labored French of a foreigner. The note which he finally handed me was an appeal for tolerance and forgiveness. Zahn said that he was old, lonely, and afflicted with strange fears and nervous disorders connected with his music and with other things. He had enjoyed my listening to his music and wished I would come again and not mind his eccentricities. But he could not play to another his weird harmonies, and could not bear hearing them from another, nor could he bear having anything in his room touched by another. He had not known until our hallway conversation that I could overhear his playing in my room, and now he asked me if I would arrange with Blandot to take a lower room where I could not hear him in the night. He would, he wrote, defray the difference in rent. As I sat, deciphering the execrable French, I felt more lenient toward the old man. He was a victim of physical and nervous suffering, as was I, and my metaphysical studies had taught me kindness. In the silence there came a slight sound from the window. The shutter must have rattled in the night wind, and for some reason I started almost as violently as did Eric Zahn. So when I had finished reading, I shook my host by the hand and departed as a friend. The next day, Blandot gave me a more expensive room on the third floor, between the apartments of an aged moneylender and the room of a respectable upholsterer. There was no one on the fourth floor. It was not long before I found that Zahn's eagerness for my company was not as great as it had seemed while he was persuading me to move down from the fifth story. He did not ask me to call on him, and when I did call, he appeared uneasy and played listlessly. This was always at night. In the day he slept and would admit no one. My liking for him did not grow, though the attic room and the weird music seemed to hold an odd fascination for me. I had a curious desire to look out of that window, over the wall and down the unseen slope at the glittering roofs and spires which must lie outspread there. Once I went up to the garret during theater hours when Zahn was away, but the door was locked. What I did succeed in doing was to overhear the nocturnal playing of the dumb old man. At first, I would tiptoe up to my old fifth floor. Then I grew bold enough to climb the last creaking staircase to the peaked garret. There, in the narrow hall, outside the bolted door with the covered keyhole, I often heard sounds which filled me with an indefinable dread, the dread of vague wonder and brooding mystery. It was not that the sounds were hideous, for they were not, but that they held vibrations suggesting nothing on this globe of earth, and that at certain intervals they assumed a symphonic quality which I could hardly conceive as produced by one player. Certainly Eric Zahn was a genius of wild power. As the weeks passed, the playing grew wilder, whilst the old musician acquired an increasing haggardness and furtiveness, pitiful to behold. He now refused to admit me at any time, and shunned me whenever we met on the stairs. Then one night, as I listened at the door, I heard the shrieking viol swell into a chaotic babble of sound. a pandemonium which would have led me to doubt my own shaking sanity had there not come from behind that barred portal a piteous proof that the horror was real, the awful, inarticulate cry which only a mute can utter, and which rises only in moments of the most terrible fear or anguish. I knocked repeatedly at the door, but received no response. Afterward, I waited in the black hallway, shivering with cold and fear, till I heard the poor musician's feeble effort to rise from the floor by the aid of a chair. Believing him just conscious after a fainting fit, I renewed my rapping, at the same time calling out my name reassuringly. I heard Zahn stumble to the window and close both shutter and sash, then stumble to the door, which he falteringly unfastened to admit me. This time his delight at having me present was real, for his distorted face gleamed with relief while he clutched at my coat as a child clutches at its mother's skirts. Shaking pathetically, the old man forced me into a chair whilst he sank into another, beside which his viol and bow lay carelessly on the floor. He sat for some time inactive, nodding oddly, but having a paradoxical suggestion of intense and frightened listening. Subsequently, he seemed to be satisfied, and crossing to a chair by the table, wrote a brief note, handed it to me, and returned to the table, where he began to write rapidly and incessantly. The note implored me, in the name of mercy, and for the sake of my own curiosity, to wait where I was, while he prepared a full account, in German, of all the marvels and terrors which beset him. I waited, and the dumb man's pencil flew. It was perhaps an hour later, while I still waited, and while the old musician's feverishly written sheets still continued to pile up, that I saw Zahn start as from the hint of a horrible shock. Unmistakably, he was looking at the curtained window and listening shudderingly. Then I half fancied I heard a sound myself, though it was not a horrible sound, but rather an exquisitely low and infinitely distant musical note, suggesting a player in one of the neighboring houses, or in some abode beyond the lofty wall over which I had never been able to look. Upon Zahn the effect was terrible, for dropping his pencil, suddenly he rose, seized his viol, and commenced to rend the night with the wildest playing I had ever heard from his bow, save when listening at the barred door. It would be useless to describe the playing of Erich Zahn on that dreadful night. It was more horrible than anything I had ever overheard, because I could now see the expression of his face, and could realize that this time the motive was stark fear. He was trying to make a noise, to ward something off, or drown something out. What, I could not imagine, awesome though I felt it must be. The playing grew fantastic, delirious, hysterical, yet kept to the last the qualities of supreme genius which I knew this strange old man possessed. I recognized the air. It was a wild Hungarian dance popular in the theaters, and I reflected for a moment that this was the first time I had ever heard Zahn play the work of another composer. Louder and louder, wilder and wilder, mounted the shrieking and whining of that desperate viol. The player was dripping with an uncanny perspiration and twisted like a monkey, always looking frantically at the curtained window. In his frenzied strains, I could almost see shadowy satyrs and bacchanals dancing and whirling insanely through seething abysses of clouds and smoke and lightning. And then I thought I heard a shriller, steadier note that was not from the viol, a calm, deliberate, purposeful, mocking note from far away in the west. At this juncture, the shutter began to rattle in the howling night wind, which had sprung up outside as if in answer to the mad playing within. Zahn's screaming viol now outdid itself, emitting sounds I had never thought a viol could emit. The shutter rattled more loudly, unfastened, and commenced slamming against the window. Then the glass broke, shiveringly, under the persistent impacts, and the chill wind rushed in, making the candles sputter, and rustling the sheets of paper on the table where Zahn had begun to write out his horrible secret. I looked at Zahn and saw that he was past conscious observation. His blue eyes were bulging, glassy and sightless, and the frantic playing had become a blind, mechanical, unrecognizable orgy that no pen could ever suggest. A sudden gust, stronger than the others, caught up the manuscript and bore it toward the window. I followed the flying sheets in desperation, but they were gone before I reached the demolished panes. Then I remembered my old wish to gaze from this window, the only window in the Rue d'Auxil from which one might see the slope beyond the wall and the city outspread beneath. It was very dark, but the city's lights always burned, and I expected to see them there amidst the rain and wind. Yet, when I looked from that highest of all gable windows, looked while the candles sputtered and the insane viol howled with the night wind, I saw no city spread below, and no friendly lights gleaming from remembered streets, but only the blackness of space illimitable, unimagined space, alive with motion and music, and having no semblance to anything on earth. And as I stood there, looking in terror, the wind blew out both the candles in that ancient peaked garret, leaving me in savage and impenetrable darkness, with chaos and pandemonium before me, and the demon madness of that night-baying viol behind me. I staggered back in the dark, without the means of striking a light, crashing against the table, overturning a chair, and finally groping my way to the place where the blackness screamed with shocking music. To save myself and Eric Zahn, I could at least try, whatever the powers opposed to me. Once I thought some chill thing brushed me, and I screamed, but my scream could not be heard above that hideous viol. Suddenly, out of the blackness, the madly sawing bow struck me, and I knew I was close to the player. I felt ahead, touched the back of Zahn's chair, and then found and shook his shoulder in an effort to bring him to his senses. He did not respond, and still the viol shrieked on without slackening. I moved my hand to his head, whose mechanical nodding I was able to stop, and shouted in his ear that we must both flee from the unknown things of the night. But he neither answered me nor abated the frenzy of his unutterable music, while all through the garret strange currents of wind seemed to dance in the darkness and babble. When my hand touched his ear, I shuddered, though I knew not why till I felt of the stiff face. The ice-cold, stiffened, unbreathing face, whose glassy eyes bulged uselessly into the void. And then, by some miracle, finding the door and the large wooden bolt, I plunged wildly away from that glassy-eyed thing in the dark, and from the ghoulish howling of that accursed viol, whose fury increased even as I plunged. Leaping, floating, flying down those endless stairs through the dark house, racing mindlessly out into the narrow, steep, and ancient street of steps and tottering houses, clattering down steps and over cobbles to the lower streets and the putrid, canyon-walled river, panting across the great dark bridge to the broader, healthier streets and boulevards we know. All these are terrible impressions that linger with me. And I recall that there was no wind, and that the moon was out, and that the lights of the city twinkled. Despite my most careful searches and investigations, I have never since been able to find the Rue d'Auxil. But I am not wholly sorry, either for this or for the loss in undreamable abysses of the closely written sheets, which alone could have explained the music of Eric Zahn.
Nice. Also, short for Lovecraft, not short for regular short.
True.
Just saying. But, did like it. Okay, so I've been keeping up with the chat.
I thank you for that.
Yeah. Linda's here.
Hello,
a bit
Linda.
Of tea and Danish, that's right. Jen's here. Lots of folks are. Robert X is here, so...
There's a... Wow, I see. Yeah. A lot of folks here.
Yeah, I'm explaining how I over-apologize to Robert X right now.
Ah, understood.
Yes. For no good reason, yeah.
Scrolling back up.
Yeah, so you check this out. Talk to them for a second. I'll get us drinks.
All right.
If you'll hand me your glass.
Ah, thank you, my love.
You are welcome, my love. All right. Yeah, we'll do other cute shit like that if you give Angie money. Actually, we do that anyway.
We got people sharing the link. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we share the link.
I see Stuttering Chris. Yes. Hey, don't.
Hey.
Says he can't donate until like. Don't worry about that, my friend. A
yeah.
lot of folks
Thank
are in
you.
tight straits right now. Purple thinks I should read for audiobooks. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I've toyed with the idea over the years. I have no idea how you would break into that industry. Somebody else told. Oh, Faye. Yeah. Faye told me that, as she says here in the chat. No suffering allowed. Indeed, indeed. Philip shared the link out. Good. Thank you. All Angie's tech is her phone. Thank goodness something. Angie's going to has gone to sleep. Good night, Angie. Sleep well, I hope. Let's see, we got more still here. Jen's little corner. Yep.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, all the Aussies. You're welcome, sweetheart. Okay, so
Amiga Nuts. I see Amiga Nuts in the chat. My friend Robert X is still with us. Doc is still with us. Paul Camish. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Welcome.
I also want to say, just for those of you who weren't keeping up, Junk Shop is drinking margaritas. I am not, because tequila makes me insane. So this is bourbon and ginger. That's what's happening right now.
Oh,
we may switch to coffee at some point. We don't know.
Doc has to sanitize a hotel.
I know.
Good gracious.
A hotel room.
Oh, lordy.
That's a thing.
Ah, yes, Amiga Nuts, you are an amazing shill indeed.
Yes, you are, sir.
You're out there fighting the good fight, my friend, and we thank you for it.
Thank you, Amiga Nuts. I think the Hive showed up for a second. I think Brainbug was in there.
Yeah, Brainbug was in there early on. I don't think he's still with us.
That's okay. You know, people have to sleep.
Yeah.
We actually
and Mr. Sangelica has shared this out in a couple of places. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sangelica.
Any sharing is caring, y'all.
No, seriously, sharing is caring, and I understand now. Times are really rough. If you can't give money, that's fine. You can absolutely help by sharing this out, by spreading the word. The more people who know, the more people there are who can give a small amount of money without, hurting themselves or putting themselves at risk. And we don't want anyone to do that. I know Angie would not want that. But if we can get a lot of people to give a few bucks here and there, it adds up quickly, as we have seen tonight. Because may I say, we started with $0, and we've raised over $1,300 that we know of for sure as of now. So that's
that was
over $1,000 US.
That's we were at 1,350 last we heard around the end of Faye's stream.
Yes.
Didn't Angie say we were up to 1,600?
I think she did. You'd have to scroll back.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'd have to scroll all the way back up, but I'm fairly certain Angie said we're up to 1,600.
And I gotta say, in
not
anticipation,
too shabby for a grassroots effort coming out of nowhere, just community coming together and family looking after family.
That's right. Yes. Right on. As my neo-pagan friends would say, blessed be to all that. Hells yeah. So what we're gonna do is
Jen, I think you're right. I think it's 1,600 is the number we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Thank you,
that was
Jen.
the last total that Angie shared with us. So if we're getting any, if we're continuing to get any in,
I guess we're
over that by now. We have to think about what we're going to do at 2K.
I am. I've already
that's
said.
right. I'm sorry, you've already said it.
Yeah, we're gonna do scary Halloween makeup on each other. So I will do scary Halloween makeup on Junk Shop, and he will do scary Halloween makeup on me. Spoiler alert, he's gonna do a really good job. So he might win. But if you want to do like Team Junk Shop, Team Julie, give us some ideas.
Hey, we can generate hashtags. We could put up a poll.
We could. If you want monsters, if you want zombies, if you want vampires, like we've got the stuff to do damn near anything. I just gotta go fucking get it, and it's right upstairs. It's not hard.
Drag all that makeup shit down from upstairs.
Yeah, I can do it. It's fine. And I've already done like I've already done an undercut. Actually, he did it, but we already did an undercut. Oh, man, y'all really can't see it. That's sad. Might have to go to a lower setting. But anyway, feels amazing, by the way. So we did that, and we did that way past the mark I thought we would. I was like, if we can get to $500, and boom, we did it. So, yeah. Okay. Jen says, Amiga nuts will have to use two legs.
Robert X said something about when is Amiga going to run out of characters to do all of his shilling.
Hey.
He says, I'm a shill for yada, 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 yada.
Amiga nuts.
He's going to need 2 entries.
You shill all you want. And Robert X, we love you. We love you. Yeah, I missed... well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, and also Jen, thank you so much for being here. I have no clue what time it is where you are, but if this does end up being an all-night thing, if you want to, throw this out to some of the other Aussies when they start to wake up, that would be fantastic. I don't know if it's really late or really early where you are, because I'm bad at that stuff. Oh, she says it's 1:30 p.m. Holy fucking shit, Jen! Hey, Jen, do you think you could maybe, like, shoot, atheist pastor and, I don't know, like, all the other Australians? That'd be great, if you can.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to, but if you want to, that would be fantastic.
Wonder Lady points out the obvious that none of us have thought to say. If you're not subscribed to Angie Dell 66, please subscribe to Angie Dell 66.
Yes, and also,
grab her link and throw that down in the chat, because I can't
believe
I haven't thought to do that yet.
Thank you, Faye. And also, if you are not a patron of Angie Dell 66, and you can become a patron, like if giving if giving a lot of money at once is too much right now, and we absolutely understand that, you can become a patron of Angie Dell 66 and help her and her family out for as little as $1 a month. And I don't think I'm misspeaking on that, because that's pretty much how Patreon works. So if you want to do that, if you want to become a sustaining patron of Angie, she would absolutely appreciate that so much. And or if you want to give like a lump sum now to help with the immediate problem, that is also cool. Just, or if you can't give money, that is fine. We all know times are tough for all of us. So if what you can do is share this stream out, please do that. Say, hey, my crazy drunken heathen friends are doing a stream for a friend of theirs whose house just got destroyed by a freak weather event. Thank you. Please do that. All right, so I'm looking at Jen's. Jen says, yes, it's afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon. Wow, you're in the future. It's amazing. I hope it's better there. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Robert X and Jen are chatting, and it's adorable. Thank you, Robert. Robert X is a Patreon of Angie, and that is amazing. Thank you so much. And, he may raise his amount. Yes, please do that. If there is anything we can do to encourage you to do that, within reason, that doesn't get our channel shut down or does not involve overt public displays of whatever, because we're really not into that. Yeah, well, within reason, we will do that. I already sang like part of a song in Middle English tonight, so that's really freaking nerdy, but there's a lot that I'd be willing to do. to help Angie out. Robert X says, I like this too, Amiga Nuts. That's fantastic. Morton. Oh, Morton Nielsen. Hello. Love you so much. Well, could do a stream later. We have some cool new Lego that needs building. That's fantastic. Awesome. When Junk Shop and I run out of steam, if you know tomorrow, you Morton if you and Linda want to pick this up and run with it, that's totally cool. We're just basically we're gonna be up until someone says, "All right, I will take the baton from you and run it," and then we'll be back after we've slept. But as I've said several times, neither of us has to be up for anything in particular tomorrow, so we're in good shape. And we also appreciate all of the help and everyone being in the chat and participating. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys want?
You can tell we planned this out real well in advance.
No, it was an emergency. We didn't know.
It was an emergency.
Yeah.
We just jumped in. We just threw our hats into the ring and then said, "Oh, look!
Okay.
Look, that's my hat down there."
We're half in the bag, and that's the person we love. And oh fuck, we should do something. I already got the back of my head shaved. Yeah. If you missed that, you're not going to see anything else get shaved because we're not that kind of channel. But, yeah. Okay, so do you ever not work? I don't know to whom. At Robert. No, I don't think Robert ever doesn't not work. No, and that was terrible English. And I
just always assume Robert's at work and just, in a broom closet taking extra time out to.
Mm-hmm. Like join in or something. I completely assume that Robert X is always working.
He's one of them.
He is. He's amazing. Yeah, Amiga Nuts, we're glad you're here. Purple, we are so glad you're here. Thank you.
Couldn't I find a bigger glass? No. In fact, no, I could not.
That is the largest margarita glass we have.
Biggest glass.
I just said glass.
Well, in fairness, it's not my biggest glass. It's my biggest margarita glass.
It's your biggest proper margarita glass. Yeah. I like it. He keeps it in the freezer.
What do you want? I'm out here drinking out of the margarita shaker with a straw.
He could do that, but we don't have any straws. Because we are very thankfully not, we don't need them for any medical reasons. And also, we don't keep them around for that reason. Because, that. And hard to clean. Like the reusable ones, like the metal ones, really hard to clean.
Robert X says the next fundraiser should be to get you a bigger glass.
No,
I think the next fundraiser is for Beach Price's tablet. I think is the next one.
Yes,
and then there's another one that's essentially simultaneous or possibly right after.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody else.
Someone move.
Is it Apistivus?
It's Apistivus, yes. Apistivus
is trying to get the fuck out of Texas.
The fuck out of where they are. Apistivus does not feel safe in their community. And by the way, I'm saying there, I do not know if that is Apistivus' preferred pronoun. If anyone does know, please tell me in the chat. I don't know. I'm saying there out of respect because I don't know. But yeah, Apistivus is apparently not feeling safe, and that was what was really scary to me when I heard that, because Texas is not it's not another country. It's in my country where I live, and I live in a red state, and I tell everyone, all of you included, hey, love from Memphis, y'all. You guys know the city and the state wherein we live. But at the same time, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid somebody's gonna show up at our front door and hurt us. But apparently Apistivus is in a situation where they do not feel safe. So that will be, we've got a Faye is working on a thing for someone to get some tech, and then we're gonna be working on a thing to help Apistivus move. So That's the thing. But right now, I don't want anyone to feel fatigued.
Fundraiser fatigue.
Yeah, I don't want that because we all get enough of that shit. I don't want you to feel it. Right now, what we're thinking about is somebody who 5 hours ago had a house with a roof on it and now no longer does. And it is 5 people that are housed in that place. 2 of them minor children who are precious and adorable little girls, and being raised by their grandparents, and they need to be in a safe place, and they've literally lost everything, and I honestly just cannot imagine. So
let me borrow your ear 1 moment.
Yes, please. Invite. All right, we are about to have a very special guest from a land down under. Oh my gosh. Sorry, couldn't help it. Don't hate me and don't back out because I used that line. Don't do it. But yeah, we're about to have somebody from the Southern Hemisphere coming in, y'all. And I'm not telling you who it is until they're in here because I want to keep you here. I want to keep you here and I want to keep you giving for Angie and everybody else. So, in her family. So we're about to have a very special guest, an amazing human being who has been such an inspiration, frankly, to me and to everyone else that I know who knows this person. I'm being very careful about my word choice right now because I don't want to give it away. So that's what that's about. But you're about to see someone amazing from a very far away place for me, for us. And there she is, it's Jen!
Hi.
Girl, I could not have kept that going any longer. Fuck. That was
Well,
hard.
you have to send me the link. Whoa, I still got the sound on.
No, I gotta turn. No, we gotta turn you up. Okay.
Sorry about that.
What did you say? No, you're lovely. What did you say?
Hang on, am I?
You sound great.
Why am I echoing?
I don't know.
Right.
We're using the same mic, so it might be us.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we don't have a splitter. I apologize. Jen is much more professional than us, everyone. She's been doing this a lot longer and knows what the fuck she's doing. We don't. So any tech issues?
Give me a sec. I'll put headphones on.
Not hers. Okay. Thank you so much. It's so awesome to have you here. You're just lovely.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
No. Damn it.
We sound fine. We sound fine here. I don't know how it's.
Yeah, no, the echo's off your end somehow.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to split some earbuds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try your earbuds and see if that makes a difference.
Ooh, where the fuck are they? Oh, here they are.
I think they're plugged into your phone.
I got it. Yeah, but they're here. Yeah. Okay, give us 1 sec, Jen. Everybody else, please bear with us. We are.
Purple says if I wanted professionals, I wouldn't be watching YouTube.
Thank you, Purple. Oh my god, I can't even see what I'm doing. I'm about to light a lighter near an electronic thing so I can see what I'm doing.
No.
There we go. Okay. I just need to see where the hole was, said every man ever. Okay.
You should put it in the ear nearest
me. I should. That makes sense.
You should put it in the hole nearest me.
That is also funny. Okay, Jen, can you hear us, and is that better?
Any better?
Okay, let's see. Much better. No echo.
Oh, good. Fantastic. People in the chat, can you hear everyone? Can you hear Jen and us?
Paul points out that I need headphones. Yes, I have headphones.
We do.
But we don't have a headphone splitters. So she wouldn't be able to hear if I was using my headphones.
Yeah.
I am going.
Jen, you look so lovely, and thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm trying to get organized to get a few people together. So,
what did you want to say?
I was just going to say I'm trying to get a few people organized so that at some point I can take over.
Much of your stuff, but I don't think we've ever met in face to face.
Oh, we've talked on Twitter though. We're illusionary, Amiga Nuts. Oh, I can't hear you now. Don't know what's happening there.
That would be... Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
You two talking player. And I fangirled. Oh. Well, it is, yeah. Can you hear us now?
Yep.
Testing.
Wait, don't hit it again. Can you... Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay, you can hear us right now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There's a bit of a lag, but I can hear
Thank you.
It's fine.
I'm sorry. Hey, everyone in the chat. We are total professionals. I'm a professional technical writer. Yeah,
you say how bad I am. A few weeks ago, I did a broadcast all about using OBS with a few other people who are actually a little bit more experienced than me. And I started off the stream thinking I'd started the show, did all the introduction, and then realized I hadn't actually started the stream, which was good because I screwed it all up. So then I actually started the stream, did the whole intro, and then the chat goes, "There's no audio." I still had everybody muted.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, that is amazing. I have filmed entire videos with either the video not filming because and then I had to do it again, and then I didn't have the audio on. Like, I have done, not with OBS, but I've done similar things, and it's hilarious. But as it turns out, I'm really good on the fourth take. That's a good. That's probably good. So it's fun.
Well, most of my stuff is completely spontaneous. So I rarely script a video. I will go off. I will watch a segment of the video and go, okay, I think I know this, but I'm not 100% sure on my knowledge, so I will look it up, and then I'll talk to it. But usually I watch a section of a video. Well, I usually watch the whole video, or at least most of the video all the way through first. Then I get my thoughts together. Then I rewatch the section and respond to it. Watch section and respond to it. And I do it as like a live response so that people are getting a more true representation of me and how I'm doing. It's why there's so many cuts in my videos, because I tend to stumble over my words. It's a weird thing. I did a video on dyslexia a while ago because I have dyslexia, but I find it getting my thoughts together when I'm talking about things is also affected by my dyslexia. So I will actually mix things up in my head as I'm structuring my thoughts.
Yeah, but you can do math. See,
I can do math.
That's the amazing thing, because I have and I say this because my first cousin Chris has dyslexia, and we're a very, in my family we tend to be highly verbal, and but he's the one person who can do math, and the rest of us are all like, log division makes my head hurt. I don't know.
But oddly enough, the language part of your brain is separate from the mathematics side of it. So you can have these language problems, and even though maths itself is also a language, you can not struggle with maths, which is entirely weird, because the way words can corrupt on a page when you're trying to read them, when you have dyslexia, can still happen to an extent with maths, but because the analytical part of your brain that deals with the maths can work around that, generally you don't have the same problems with that. So a lot of math is done directly in your head, so you don't have those same issues. But yeah, I like my maths. I think I got told off the other day by somebody for being too forthright in a quiz about maths. It was something about
in your head, not in mine. I just
it was a question like, how many times can you subtract 2 from 48? Because these were meant to be comedy question things. So from the answer point of view of the, you're going to highlight me, or did we lose you? All right. Well, I'll keep going from the highlight point of view of from the joke point of view of the thing. You can only subtract 2 from 48 once, because then 48 becomes 46. But from a maths perspective, 48 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 ad infinitum, you can do it forever. You can subtract an infinite number of 2's from 48 as long as it's all one line of subtraction, because all addition and subtraction happens simultaneously. So you've got both hands.
And we're back.
And you missed all that, and I kept going for you.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
We appreciate that so much.
Oh my God, you don't even know. We're listening so intently to what you're saying, and then like suddenly we were gone.
All right, well, I'll repeat for you. The channel's already had it, but I'll repeat for you. But basically, it was how many times could you subtract 2 from 48? And of course, the answer in terms of the joke is once, because then 48 becomes 46.
Oh fuck! See, I didn't even get that, because in my head I was like, okay, well you can subtract 2 into 48, and then it becomes 46, and then if you subtract 2 into 46, it's a 13. Oh fuck!
Subtract, not division.
No. Damn it!
Subtraction.
Math. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't
but yes, but if you're going down your path, you can do it infinitely, because you can get down to 0, and then you can go to negatives. And my point was that in terms of the joke, you can do it once, because then 48 becomes 46. In terms of maths, you can do it infinitely, because if you have 48 minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus infinite number of minus 2's, effectively all those subtractions happen at the same time. That's how subtraction and addition works in maths. They are simultaneous equations. They happen at the same time. So therefore, you can subtract 2 from 48 infinite number of times. So it depends on your perspective of the equation and the convention of maths that you're using. So
yeah, and the concepts I can get. But the stuff that my cousin can do that I can't do, it's amazing. And he's awesome and so smart. And it's like, but then like the stuff that I find so easy, he finds so difficult. And it's just, it's like you were saying, it's different parts of the brain.
Damn you, Megan Nuts! Now I have to run my application and see if if that works. I'll show you guys, and I'll show the chat, because I've talked about this thing on streams, and there's only been a handful of people who've actually seen it. But I want to see what happens if you actually, and it works. Oh, I'm so happy about that. And if I display it as yes, okay, I'll share a screen. So. Application window, that one. Okay, so
whatever you need.
Yep. Okay, so when you do StreamYards for doing a stream, you can click on the chat that comes up from people, and it displays as a chat for everyone to see. But if you're using OBS to do it, you lose that facility. Or if you're using other things like Zoom and that, you don't have that facility. What this app does is gives you that facility. So I wrote a program that grabs the chat out of YouTube. You can post the link to it up here. And if you click on somebody here, I'm trying to click on it on the wrong screen. Sorry about that. You click on the you click on the chat on the thing, and it pops up and it creates a new box. This is all customizable, so you can have a different background here. You can put the fonts in different ways and stuff like that. If you don't want it to display anymore, you can hit the cross. I know the font colors. Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong screen again. So if you hit the cross, it gets rid of it. And because it's a green screen, you can capture it and display it at the top of your content in OBS. It gives you that whole chat thing again. I've been working on this for about 3 weeks now. But yeah, it's what I was doing the other day on Purple's channel when I was kind of not talking in the channel and was completely sidetracked, and everyone's messaging me going, "Are you okay, Jen? You look miserable." Okay, I have a resting sad face. If I'm concentrating on something, instead of looking bitchy, I look miserable. And I don't know why, because usually I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm just concentrating on it so much. So yeah. So that's the thing I've been working on. So eventually that'll be available to the community as a whole to use. Me? Oh, we lost you again. Okay, as I was saying, yeah, no, the backwards text works. Thank you, Amiga Nuts. I'd been waiting for somebody to do one in a stream I was on so that I could see if it worked. Because yeah, it's kind of cool that I've got most of this stuff working. There's a few icons that don't work, and I have to figure out how to implement them manually. But on the whole, it's actually working pretty good. And I filled in again for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we appreciate that immensely.
So much. I don't know
what are we doing?
Well, what Vata was doing is that we haven't fucking hooked up the damn USB cable
Ethernet
to
cable,
the Ethernet cable. I'm sorry, to the thing.
Ah, okay.
We should have.
So you're going Wi-Fi
before we started.
Yeah, we're counting on Wi-Fi, and that's very bad. Particularly.
Well, the stream will keep running as long as I'm in here, so I can sit in here if you want to hook yourself up and then reconnect to your stream.
Ooh, do you want to do that?
It's worth a shot.
It is.
Because I can keep the talking going, and you guys can just join back in.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, you're amazing, and we love you. And
thank you. Love you too. I love Angie as well. Everybody who can, and remember, this is if you can. Do not put yourself out. Do not put yourself out by supporting Angie. If you can spare a few dollars to send to her to help her in her time of need, please do so. But don't feel compelled. Don't feel like we're saying you have to do this.
Yes.
If you can't afford it, we know everybody's in trouble at the moment with all the shit that's going on. So if you can, if you have a little bit of leftover dollars in your pocket, send Angie some help. If you can't support the streams, get the message out to people so that those who do have a little in their pocket and are willing to help can help. So even just retweeting the PayPal, the stream, the story, just so that it gets out there so that those who can support.
Okay. Yes.
Why do I need to read some Bible verses, Morton?
And no, you don't. Everything that's junk bags game. Everything that Jen just said, and also we're going to be doing a little recalibrating here as we move over toward where we can get the Ethernet cable hooked up. Oh wow, he's climbing.
You need a long one.
It's amazing.
You need
I have a long one.
Just not long enough.
No, it's not long enough to reach to the couch. Okay, so
you want a 30-meter one.
It's a
30-meter. Nearly 30 yards.
Oh my God, woman! I have one. Yeah, but there's one we own that we're gonna use right now. But it'll just take a moment. It's pretty large. I don't know that it's 30 meters, but it's pretty long. It's not 30 meters. Yeah, fair enough. He just said there's nothing we own that's 30 meters long.
30 meters. Yeah. I've had a few 30-meter cables that I've used for various things. Yeah, they're really handy though, especially if you've got to set something up in a room that doesn't normally have network connections in it. But I
would agree.
But yeah, I've wrecked a few of them. I've had a dog eat one of them. That was fun.
Oh yeah. That happens though.
The little buggers. I love them, but I love
them, but they destroy your shit.
The big dog Shibo, when he was a puppy, I used to have a bow, African, not African, an American Indian bow.
Okay, that's fantastic. I want to hear this. I'm unplugging my headphones. It's going to sound weird for a second. I'm unplugging my headphones. It's going to sound weird for a second, but I want to hear all about your American Indian bow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just continue talking. Everything will be fine.
All right. I'll try to ignore the echo.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Hang on. We're on something.
Mm.
So yeah,
Second.
the dog decided that this thing was an awesome looking bow and pulled it off the wall and chewed it to pieces.
Oh no! That's
I
so
have
sad.
one piece left of it. Actually, I'll go find it.
Okay. All right, Jen's gonna go. Sorry, ignore the echo if you're hearing it. I apologize. We're working on it.
Stop moving.
Yes, sir. If I was just told to stop moving, which is why I responded the way I did, because I was raised in the South. Okay. Jen is going to find the one piece of her Native American bow that her dog left her after chewing it up. Oh, she's back! Woohoo! Oh my God, that is it?
Yeah, that's the middle holder part,
that's sad.
and he chewed the ends off the bow.
That
so
is
absolutely right.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I still have the quiver though, so.
Oh,
But,
it's so
yeah,
beautiful.
I was like, I come out and go, "Where's the bow? What's on the floor?" The middle holder part, and he chewed the ends off the bow. So absolutely right.
Fucking dogs, man. And I
was like, I come out and go, "Where's the bow?"
Well, I can, and it always any 4-footed pets anymore. But yeah. No, we kept them all until they met I see the trepidation on your face. We kept them all until they had their natural lifespan, and then we were like, okay, we're done with that. Wow, this lighting makes me look really creepy. I like it.
I like this.
You are so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we are basically moving everything about 12 feet. If you're into the imperial system, I don't know how much that is in meters. About 3 meters. The dog is still alive. We're moving everything.
He's adorable. He was just destructive.
Yeah, exactly. That's how our cats were. Okay, so we're moving everything about 3 meters, and
then swapping cables.
Yeah, give me one. Oh, sorry, 1 sec. That's my shirt. No, it's fine. That was just lots of things. Back in the...
It's been show-off day.
Jen, talk about stuff.
Oh, talk about stuff. I can manage that. Well, the same dog. When he got a little bit older, I went outside to him, and he's chewing something, and the whole side of his face had swollen up. And I'm looking at him, and the thing he's chewing is this great big fucking steel bracket. So I get it off him, and it's got very big tooth marks. There's right in it. He's just been chewing this thing like it was a teething ring. I was like, what are you doing, dog? Dogs.
Okay.
But yeah,
I can move
the younger puppies into chewing stuff up as well. But he hasn't really chewed up anything like that. I mean, he's chewed through a few power leads on devices that I'm going to have to fix. But I've sort of left until he's grown out the chewing phase. I had a collection of old cassette tapes of comedy shows. The puppy found them.
What?
Yeah, he chewed up about 3 cassettes.
That is really awful. I'm sorry. Wait, I think it's really awful. I only heard like half of it.
It was just I had a collection of old comedy cassette tapes, you know, like Monty Python and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pup decided they were a good fun thing to do.
Oh,
I don't even know how he found them, because I have no idea. I thought I stored them right out the way. But it's a pup. It's like kids. They do the same thing. I mean, I'm not thinking they're just things. But they're funny stories to tell.
I think puppies will chew on anything. It's just sort of their nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cats.
Yes, Linda, it's an echo until
like
the shift around is done and the new cable's in. We're going to have echo.
Okay, we'll get that.
Shift around is done and the new cable's in. We're going to have echo.
Okay, thank you. We'll get that straightened out. Thank you so much.
ECMO. You guys think it's hard. I have to listen to me. You guys think it's hard. I have to listen to me.
Fair. No, I mean, fair in that I would be as self-conscious, but you're amazing, so don't be so.
But it's weird to listen to yourself because the voice that you hear in your head when you talk is not the same voice that everyone else hears.
Oh, it really
the voice
is.
that you hear in your head when you talk is not the same voice that everyone else hears. I mean, I've gotten used to mine from editing videos so much, but it's still weird, and especially when there's an echo, because that delay echo thing when you're talking just throws your whole train of thought out. Because, hang on, why am I hearing me now? How do you dox a fish purple? What? So is your cable actually swapped over?
What? What is purple? That's fantastic. Let's the fish. I don't know whose fish you're talking about, but if you're talking about ours, whose?
Angie's.
Oh, Angie's.
Angie's fish.
Is the fish okay?
Discussing all night.
The fish's name is either Herman or Herbert. We're not sure.
It's something like that.
It's an African cichlid that lives in East Texas. And Texas is fucking huge, so we're not exactly doxing. And also, Angie has mentioned many times that she lives in East Texas, so no, there is no doxing.
Is the fish okay?
It was Herbert.
Is the fish okay, though?
Yes.
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 Somehow that enormous fuck-off tree that took out the entire house missed the aquarium in the middle of the living room.
It is absolutely amazing.
That's amazing.
All of the humans, all of the pets, 3 dogs, 2 cats, 2 grandchildren,
and a fish.
1 grown daughter, and a fish are all fine. And,
no injuries.
Yeah, no injuries, and that is the beautiful.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Hey.
Oh, well, he's a blood parrot, Morton. All blood parrots are assholes. It's in their DNA.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
They're asshole fish.
What the hell?
I didn't
it's the name of the fish. Yeah, an asshole. Is that like those fighting fishes that they
Oh,
because they're assholes too.
Worse.
Yeah, worse. Because if you put a fighting fish in a tank by itself, it's perfectly happy just to patrol its own little territory.
Or if it's a female, you can have a sorority. As long as you only put in other females at the same time, you can have a sorority of betas or Japanese fighting fish. And they're perfectly happy to just hang together because there's no male trying to, fuck any of them. So they're cool.
Whereas with blood parrots want to destroy things and rearrange things.
Mm-hmm.
And they will literally rearrange the sand in the bottom of the tank if they get bored. They'll take it all and sweep it all to one side. They'll take the decorations and rearrange them. They'll uproot the plants and plant them other places.
Although I feel as though we should...
So they're like having a German Shepherd that's locked in its backyard and nobody plays with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that sounds so sad, but yeah.
It does, but they go absolutely troppo German Shepherds.
As bad as that.
I'm sorry, Jim, what did you say about German Shepherds?
I said that's what they're like, though, because they're such an intelligent dog. If you leave them alone with nothing to do, they will absolutely destroy everything.
Oh, yeah. They are not pleased with being left alone. They need activity, they need their people, and they need a purpose.
Tony Designs. Hello, Tony.
Hey.
Good
Tony.
morning.
Hey. Oh,
So what time
I
is
know
it for you guys?
Oh, it's 1:08 a.m., which would be in regular.
So I'm 13 hours ahead of
20,
you.
Yeah.
2100 hours.
Oh, so you're Central Time like Perps.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be 1. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jen?
Yeah, we're Central Time.
You're
we're
Central like
Central.
Perps, yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
So yeah. I don't know. I can't think of any other weird stuff that those have done.
Future, so
Yes.
what time is
It's
it
not a
for
bad
you?
day
It's
today.
like
2:09 at the moment in the afternoon. So yeah.
You're in the early afternoon of tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Yeah, tomorrow. That's what it is.
Well, not tomorrow. Same day now because you're in the early morning of the same day.
Jen, I should get this over with now. I have a particular favor Australians.
Yeah?
Yes, we are. For the moment, we're in the same day. That's fantastic. And it's
Wow, we are really lagged.
I'm a huge Tim Minchin fan.
Oh.
So, yeah, that happened.
Okay.
I just mean, it's not exactly fair. I know.
And we're on. It was my last hope for a trick to make it move in the past.
I have a prejudice in favor of, and that is not fair. Like, it'd be like saying, I love Eddie Murphy, therefore all Americans are awesome. No, we're not. So it's not fair. Okay, yeah. So everybody in the chat, I'm sorry we're horribly lagged. I would say we're working on it, but we've pretty much done all we can do.
I'm about to check some settings.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. Do we need to go through? Is there anyone new? While Junk Shop is checking settings, is there anyone new who does not know why we're here at this moment? If so, just like, I don't know, throw up a yeah, why are we here, or a question mark in the chat, and I'll explain.
I'm sure everyone knows why we're here. We are here to support a really good friend to everyone and to the community in general.
Okay. And yes, listen to Jim because she put that perfectly. Thank you. Oh, sorry. He's checking on settings and suddenly I saw just us and it was weird.
Oh.
This is as low def as we can go.
It's as low def. Okay.
Let's see.
No, at least we don't look all pixelated.
Is it, have you actually swapped over? Has the computer actually swapped to your cable connection instead of using Wi-Fi?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because you didn't drop out of the link and I would have expected you to if it had swapped.
Thank you. You are very wise, and thank you.
Is this going to be something as easy as just turning off the Wi-Fi switch and letting it figure out that it's plugged in?
That should work.
I was scared, but okay, cool.
I will keep the conversation going whilst you try.
Thank you, Jen.
You're the best.
You
No
are
problems.
amazing.
No problems. So, yeah, to go back to why we're here, and the dreadful thing that's happened for Angie with her house and everything, tornado comes through, uproots a tree, and it smacks Angie's house. And it's a complete and absolute mess. She's pretty much lost everything. And we're here to support as much as we can. And that's what all we're asking people out there to do is if you've got a few bucks to spare, and we realize that not everyone has a few bucks to spare, do not feel compelled to do anything other than retweet these streams and let people know what's happened so that those who have got a few bucks to spare can send them to Angie through the PayPal link that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen at the moment and is also going in the chats every now and then. They can just give a few dollars here and there to Angie just to help her out, because even with insurance, and there's no guarantee she's going to get her insurance, this is going to be a nightmare for her. In every conceivable way, this is a nightmare. So, and there's no guarantee with insurance companies. Insurance companies are fucking assholes. And they're just as liable to turn around and say, this is an act of God, you get nothing.
They are, and they take forever. And even ones that cover quote unquote acts of God, which is what they call something like this, it still take it can still take anywhere from 4 to 6 months to a year.
Yeah, and even then, her access on an act of God is going to be horrendous.
You know, you may or may not have your money yet. It's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. There is nothing in this that's.
We're looking at immediate relief if we can.
Yeah.
And again, like Jen said, if you can't, that's okay. That's fine. But
oh, I've got tweets.
Yeah. So if you can't money, that's okay. If you can, yay! Thank you so much. If you can't, thank you so much for sharing and for spreading the word.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know Angie was looking for the silver linings.
Hand the baton off to it. This pen looks okay.
Yeah, well, when you guys are done, I'm here, I'm awake, I don't mind doing so.
Yeah. Okay, so if we need to pass the baton to you, we can.
You can.
We might have to do that.
I haven't been able to get hold of Mero or Notcha yet to see if they'll jump in with me, but I'm sure I'll be able to get them eventually. There's a good possibility they're both still working, given that it's only 5 o'clock there. No, not even that 4 o'clock there. So
I know I don't know enough about Aussie culture to know if this is okay or not, but Aussie, oi, you guys are fucking awesome. And I'm just
I will take that. We will take that. Don't worry.
Thank you. I'm just so fucking grateful for all of you because you're amazing. And yeah. And Mero and Nacha and you, of course, are so awesome. Yeah, if Junk Shop and I run into too many technical difficulties, we'll pass the baton on to Jen, and then we will, at some point, go to sleep and then come back.
I'm starting to think we might want to call this while we still have any control over it, because the way.
Okay, well, I will start up another stream. I think I'll just do a StreamYards one. I'm not going to mess around with OBS for this. It'll take me too long. So.
Okay. Yeah. Good call. Good call. All right. We are officially passing the torch to Jen. If you type that in.
Yeah, keep this one going until I've got it up, and then I can shoot the link.
Yeah. And please put the PayPal thing in. Okay, if y'all will give us just a moment in order to pass the baton to Jen, we're also gonna put Angie's PayPal in the chat here in just a moment, so that Jen can get it, and so you guys, everybody can see it. And again, like, don't even worry if you can't give money. We know times are hard for everybody, so if money is not something you can give right now, that is okay. Just you can help by sharing these streams, you can help by getting the word out. Because I mean, think about it. Like if everybody gave just like a couple of bucks, you know, that's all she'd need. It'd be fine. We made our earlier goals super early because a few people were able to donate a lot at once. But it's okay if you can't do that. Don't worry. Don't feel bad. Think about everything that Jen just said. You know, things are rough for everyone. So don't feel like you don't hurt yourselves. Is what I'm saying. Because we don't want to be doing a fundraiser for you next because you gave too much to another fundraiser. So, oh, that got almost downright biblical. Yeah, right. It's messed up, but yeah, it's in there. Oh, that book is so fucked up. Anyway, so yeah, so we're helping out helping humans in our community, and we're doing it all over the fucking world, guys. We've got Jen in the southern hemisphere. We've got us in the northern hemisphere. She's amazing. If you don't know how amazing Jen's little corner is, you need to subscribe to her channel. You absolutely need to do that. If you are
I am 450 subs, so I'm getting closer to that 500 mark, which would be nice.
Well done.
Yes, that is fantastic. Let's get Jen to 500 subs, and if you guys do that, we'll do something nutty.
Oh, look, if during this I get to 500 subs, there's lots of things that I've offered to do at different times and have never done. If someone wants to throw something up and say, Jane, you're going to have to talk about this or do this or show us this, then yeah, I will do it. I have very little shame.
Oh, me too. Yeah. No, modesty. So honestly, like, and I know Junk Shop and I were promising to do scary Halloween makeup on each other, but we're having technical difficulties. So
you can still do that on somebody else's stream.
We can do that on someone else's stream tomorrow. So you just let us know. You guys hit that 2 gram mark, and we will, even if it surpassed that by then, which I really hope it has, that'd be amazing. We will absolutely do scary Halloween makeup on each other, and we will describe what we're doing as we're doing it. It'll be really fun. So, yeah. Wait, I just ran out of words, which is weird for me.
All right.
I've sent.
Chris says he's never known anyone affected by a natural disaster.
Oh wow, Chris, good
wow.
for you, man.
You have lived a charmed life, my young friend.
You have, and it's okay. It's okay. Don't feel bad.
I hope that continues for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jen, FYI, real quick before we have to cut out because of witness. How's Australia? How's the fires? Have those?
Fires are been gone a while now, so
okay.
That's not too bad.
Sorry.
I will shove links to the chats in Angie's group, and I've sent to Mero. So hopefully I will have them on the go. I put the link in your chat, your live chat, to the new stream. So when we're done here, I will make the stream go live. I won't start until we're done. But
okay, great.
But yeah, if you want to hop in mine and keep going for a bit, say that you've got less thing on your machine, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
that's cool. Or
yours.
Whatever else. I don't mind. Hopefully Mero will join at some point. I am not actually paying as much attention to that as I should. But I can drag people in anyway.
You were doing so much, Jen. Please don't.
No.
Don't talk about my friend Jen like that.
What?
Well, I
can't put
myself
down
for anything. You're so.
Oh
cool.
no, I'm not being down on myself. The last minute organizational things. I'm not great.
No,
I don't know that I'm that great at long-term organizational things at the moment. My thing with the whole COVID thing has been that whilst I've had a little bit more time than what I normally do, I haven't used it wisely because I have found it very hard to motivate myself during this. it's totally wrecked my sleeping patterns and made it almost impossible for me to keep things going in the ways they should be. So it's been I don't think this has been good for me. Mentally, I know it hasn't been good for me, but in terms of getting other things done and that, it's not been good for me. So
no.
So yeah.
Oh, and it hasn't been for me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It
So yeah, I've put the link up anyway.
Yeah.
So
no, I need a very specific schedule
to be functional.
My mental health.
Well, I'm the same.
I really liked working from home, but once they furloughed me at the start of last week, it was like time ceased to happening, and it got very weird very fast, and it was very bad. So yeah, let's okay, everybody, we're gonna jump over to Jen's corner. Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'll see you over there. I'm gonna go and start the stream.
Jen's little corner, and we're gonna keep this going, but we're gonna do it through her stream because ours is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you over there.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen. I think that's.
Thank you so much.
Okay. We're really cute.